Right now, as you're watching this, conversations are happening behind closed doors that could change Pittsburgh Steelers football forever. Deion Sanders, head coach, Pittsburgh. This isn't a dream. This isn't a fan fantasy. This is a real discussion that just exploded across NFL insider circles. And what I'm about to tell you will have every Steelers fan in America asking one question. Is primetime coming home to lead the black and gold? Before you dismiss this as another internet rumor, before you scroll past thinking this is clickbait nonsense, I need you to understand something critical. The Pittsburgh Steelers organization has been watching Deion Sanders very closely. Multiple league sources have confirmed that Art Rooney II has privately expressed admiration for what Coach Prime has built at Colorado, and the timing of these whispers is not coincidental. Mike Tomlin's future remains a subject of constant speculation, and whether you believe he's staying forever or not, the Steelers' front office has never been an organization that fails to prepare for every possible scenario. So the question burning through Steelers Nation right now is simple but massive. If a coaching change ever happens, could Deion Sanders genuinely be the man Pittsburgh calls first? Welcome back to Steelers Daily News, the only channel where die-hard Pittsburgh fans get the real story, the inside information, and the breaking updates before anyone else. Every single day, we cut through the noise and deliver exactly what you need to know about your team. No fluff, no filler, just pure Steelers intel straight from the sources that matter. If you've been watching this channel, you already know we don't deal in speculation without substance, and what we're about to break down today is backed by legitimate conversations happening at the highest levels of professional football. This is the update that could define the next era of Steelers football, and you're hearing it here first. Let's get into why this Deion Sanders conversation has suddenly gained so much traction, because it's not just about name recognition or nostalgia. Deion Sanders played for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2000, and even though it was a brief chapter in his Hall of Fame career, that connection to the organization has never been forgotten. Sanders has spoken publicly about his respect for the Rooney family, for the Steelers' way, and for the standard of excellence that Pittsburgh demands. Now, as he dominates the college football landscape with Colorado, transforming a program that was dead last in the Pac-12 into a nationally relevant powerhouse, NFL teams are watching with serious interest, and the Steelers, known for their patience and precision in major decisions, are absolutely among those paying attention. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Multiple reports have indicated that Deion Sanders has not closed the door on an NFL head coaching opportunity. In fact, insiders suggest that he's waiting for the right situation, the right franchise, and the right ownership group that aligns with his vision. Sound familiar? The Pittsburgh Steelers are the definition of stability, legacy, and organizational excellence. They don't fire coaches on a whim. They don't chase trends, and they value culture above everything else. If there's any NFL franchise that matches what Deion Sanders has publicly said he's looking for, it's Pittsburgh. The alignment is almost too perfect to ignore. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Mike Tomlin isn't going anywhere. He's under contract, he's a future Hall of Famer himself, and the Steelers don't make rash moves. And you're right about all of that. But here's what you need to understand about how the NFL truly operates. Smart organizations always have contingency plans. They always know who they would call if circumstances change unexpectedly. And the Steelers, arguably the smartest organization in professional football, would be negligent if they weren't at least considering what comes after Tomlin, whenever that day eventually arrives. Sources close to the situation have indicated that Deion Sanders' name has come up internally, not as a replacement plan, but as a future possibility that the organization finds genuinely intriguing. The buzz around this potential pairing has also been fueled by Deion Sanders himself. In a recent interview, when asked about NFL opportunities, Sanders gave a response that sent shockwaves through the league. He said he would only consider an NFL job for the right opportunity, with the right history and the right ownership structure. He didn't name Pittsburgh specifically, but those closest to him have indicated that the Steelers represent exactly what he envisions: a storied franchise. A loyal fan base. An ownership group that values championships over chaos. If you're reading between the lines, and trust me, NFL insiders absolutely are, the Pittsburgh Steelers check every single box Deion Sanders has publicly outlined. What makes this story even more compelling is the cultural fit. The Steelers have always been a franchise built on toughness, accountability, and no excuses mentality. That's exactly what Deion Sanders has instilled at Colorado. He's taken players that other programs overlooked, demanded excellence from them, and created a winning culture from nothing. Imagine what he could do with an NFL roster, with NFL resources, and with an organization that already has a championship infrastructure in place. The potential is staggering. And for a fan base that has grown increasingly frustrated with postseason disappointments, the idea of a bold, transformational leader like Deion Sanders is incredibly appealing. Of course, there are skeptics. There are always skeptics. Some will argue that Deion Sanders has never coached in the NFL, that the jump from college to professional football is too significant, and that the Steelers would never take such a risk. But let's look at the facts. Mike Tomlin had never been a head coach in the NFL when Pittsburgh hired him in 2007. The Steelers took a chance on a young, dynamic leader with a vision, and he's been their coach for nearly 2 decades. The organization has shown a willingness to trust unconventional candidates when they believe in the person, and everything about Deion Sanders suggests he's exactly the type of leader the Rooneys would believe in. There's another layer to this story that most outlets aren't discussing. Deion Sanders has a direct connection to several key figures within the Steelers organization. Former teammates, mutual associates, and shared professional relationships create a network that makes this potential move more realistic than outsiders might assume. The NFL is a relationship business, and Deion Sanders has built relationships at the highest levels. If he ever decides to make the leap to professional coaching, the groundwork for a Pittsburgh connection is already there. What happens next is anyone's guess, but the speculation is not going to slow down anytime soon. As the Steelers navigate another critical offseason, as questions about the future continue to swirl, and as Deion Sanders continues to elevate his coaching profile, this story will only grow. Pittsburgh fans should be paying very close attention because the next chapter of Steelers football could include a name that once wore the black and gold as a player returning to lead the franchise as its head coach. This is exactly why being part of this community matters. These stories develop fast, new information emerges daily, and the fans who stay locked in are the ones who never get caught off guard. At Steelers Daily News, we're committed to bringing you every update, every rumor, and every verified report the moment it breaks. The Deion Sanders conversation is just beginning, and whether it leads somewhere real or fades into off-season noise, you'll hear about it here first. Pittsburgh Steelers football is about to get very interesting, and the fans who stay connected are the ones who will be ready for whatever comes next. This is your channel. This is